Hello everyone, today I'm visiting the ancient Roman site in Mogoriello near Čapljine in Bosnia Herzegovina. It's a ruin and I love ruins, so I'm gonna have a look here. It's my first visit and I'm very excited to be exploring this site because it's one of its kind, it's very well preserved, and let's check it out. Everything ends up under the earth, and the earth hides our history. Like thousands of other sites discovered and undiscovered in the world, this site was hidden beneath the ground. It was just a hill until it was discovered. Then it was dug out, and here it is. A glimpse into the past. One can just imagine how many other sites like these there are in this region, in Europe, in the world. Here is a reconstruction from the stuff that was left behind of the wine production. Gives you kind of the idea of pressing wine, the grapes I mean, and yeah, producing wine. So this was a food storage originally, and all that is left is a stone foundation. All the top floors are gone, and the name of the place is Mogoriello, which comes from the fact that this site was burned down by the Goths, and gorjelo is, you know, burn, so the site is kind of like, the name means burns a lot. And if you imagine having olive oil and stuff and all the wood, it must have been a pretty nasty scene from miles away. Yeah, parts are reconstructed, of course, to keep some sort of foundation. Originally, all the corners of the site had towers, watchtowers. So one over here behind us, one over there, and over there. And here you can see the rooms and storage areas for the supplies and all that. Let's be adventurous here and jump over. Yeah, let's go this way. I just don't have any explanation for this. It's pretty unique to have a site remain intact over the centuries like this. Well, it's not intact, but you get the idea, right? Pretty unique. Here we see the remains of the water system in the area here. They had wastewater. Somewhere here there should be a toilet area where, you know, like the Romans, they were pretty good, pretty smart. They had wastewater and pretty high-tech stuff and pretty clean hygiene. especially when we think about the aqueducts. If we travel along the remains of the Roman Empire, you can still see the aqueducts and how they had the water system. I think to fully kind of get into the feeling of this site or sites like this, you have to kind of play with your fantasy. Like, imagine being here when it's all intact somehow. Everything is made out of natural elements, natural materials. There's no electricity, no modern stuff. And if you've read the book Vitruvius, which is the foundation for architecture, you can kind of put in motion a lot of fantasy. So imagine that, and everything being in this kind of natural element: wood, stone, water running through. You have you know, the best wine. Like no wine today is really all that natural. You have to really like find the farmers or the plantation owners' private collection to kind of get the real hardcore wine. And I've tasted that too from the area here. It's really a difference. And imagine that the wine, the olive oil, you know, the olive oil in its hardcore form is really tasty. And imagine eating figs or fresh bread. Like being in nature, for example, gives you always the kind of good feeling in your body. You kind of get all your energies flowing. So imagine just being in this area, probably or preferably in a peaceful time, and just eating good, being in the sun, you know, in this climate, having fresh water, fresh food, and just working. And I mean, it must have been really a good feeling living in these kind of structures. Here we have a fig tree growing out of the steps here. So these steps might have been part of the church, for example, for the speaking podium, preaching podium. Once again, we have the water system. Amazing. Piece of a column. So there are 1, 2, 3 columns. Here we get the asymmetrical remains, because there used to be a small church here back in the days. If I'm correct, I think this wall is from that church. You can see this stone, for example, is decorated. Nothing spectacular, but still it's yeah, maybe it wasn't the original place for that stone. Could have been a pillar, who knows. What we have, it's what is left. Here we have more production facilities, an oven, and stuff for olive oil, I think, storing olive oil or something. You can see how the top looks, and kind of what the inside would look like. So this was a production area. And here we have the collective toilet. As you can see, the water is coming in there, going around this podium, and exiting there. and they probably had a smart way of making that water exit here in a clean manner. Here we have the remains of one of the towers, the guarding towers. It probably had a foundation of stone and a wooden construction with stairs running up with an overview. And no explanation for this. Definitely not Roman nor medieval. Just to end this video with a practical thing, over there is a train station. So if you come from Mostar with the 25-30 minute train trip, beautiful trip, you will stop over there. You can just cross the street and walk down there to Mogoriello. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes, so you don't need to take a taxi or think about transportation. Just straight from the train station and down this path along the only road